Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Right out of the gate today, we're looking at a fascinating topic called divine design, the purpose of every part. You know that feeling, right? Like you're just another face in a massive crowd, or maybe you've wondered if you actually matter to the groups you belong to. Well, let's explore this together. We're unpacking some profound insights straight from the Bible about how a community is built piece by piece, and exactly why you are placed where you are.
So, right at the beginning here, let's write out the specific Bible verse anchoring our research today. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 18 says, "But in fact, God has placed the parts in the body, every one of them, just as He wanted them to be." What is truly fascinating about this text is how it immediately sets up a core tenet based on Reformed Calvinist theology: absolute sovereignty. Notice the wording there. God, our Father, didn't just throw things together and hope for the best. He has sovereignly placed every single part exactly as He intended. Your position? It's not an accident. It is the result of His deliberate, divine will.
All right, let's outline the big picture first before we dive into the details. Here is our agenda. 1. Divine design, the body. 2. God's sovereign placement. 3. Visible versus invisible roles. 4. Living out your purpose. And 5. Our conclusion, trust the design.
Okay, moving right along to Section 1, Divine Design, the body. Before diving into the specifics of this metaphor, let's actually provide a little historical context. When the Apostle Paul originally wrote these words in the Bible, he was addressing the early church in Corinth. Now, Corinth was this super bustling, highly competitive, status-obsessed city. Honestly, it was a lot like a modern, ultra-competitive college campus. People there were constantly comparing themselves to one another. So Paul drops this body metaphor on them. We're going to focus on summarizing the key findings of the research here. A system made of many different parts forming one whole completely fails to function if every part is exactly the same. I mean, think about it. The eye cannot be the hand, right? The head cannot replace the feet. This means your unique traits, your specific skills, and your distinct personality are a literal structural necessity to the community, not just some random accident.
Which brings us to Section 2, God's sovereign placement.
Let's highlight the main argument here: absolutely nothing is random. Every single person has a purpose. Based on Reformed Calvinism theology, God's providence completely rules over all things. So what does that actually mean for you? It means your exact placement right now, whether you're a freshman in a specific dorm, grinding through a certain major, or sitting in a particular campus ministry group. It is not a mistake. It's definitely not some logistical glitch by the university housing department. It is a highly deliberate, sovereign act of God. He placed you exactly there for a reason.
Let's focus on the implications of this data for college students, because let's be real, it is incredibly easy to question our fit, isn't it? On a massive, sprawling university campus, amidst thousands of super talented peers, you probably catch yourself wishing for a different role. It is so common to feel overlooked, small, or less important simply because you aren't the student body president or the lead singer in the worship band. But the supporting evidence from our source text points to a totally different reality. You have a role that literally no one else can fully replace. If you are the feet of your campus community and you suddenly decide you'd rather try to be the eyes, the whole body just loses its ability to walk.
Let's shift gears to Section 3, Visible versus Invisible Roles.
Now we're going to compare and contrast two entirely different theories of worth presented in the sources. On the left side, we have worldly value. Human nature, especially in a hyper-competitive college environment, just craves what is visible. We naturally value the prominent stuff, the center stage roles, the people with the most followers or the loudest voices. But contrast that with the right side, biblical value. God actually highly values and honors the behind-the-scenes, invisible acts of service. He looks at the seemingly weaker or less visible parts and calls them utterly indispensable. That person quietly setting up chairs or just listening to a totally stressed-out roommate at 2 a.m., just as vital as the person holding the microphone, no question.
Because of this biblical value system, there is this radical interconnectedness in a healthy community. As the text says, when one part suffers, all suffer. When one part is honored, all rejoice together. Your individual worth is deeply, intrinsically tied to the health of the entire body. And the beautiful takeaway here is that no hidden effort is ever wasted. If you're quietly struggling, the whole campus body feels it. But if you are quietly serving, you are actively strengthening the whole body, even if nobody ever hands you an award for it.
All right, moving into Section 4, Living Out Your Purpose.
So how do we actually apply this? Our source document explains a really clear step-by-step process for living this out day to day. Step 1. Stop comparing your role to others. We all know comparison is the thief of joy, especially in college. You've got to trust that God has equipped you for your exact circumstances. Step 2.
Ask God how to be faithful right now. Seriously, don't wait until graduation to start living with purpose. Ask Him today, Father, how can I serve you right here in this dorm? And step 3, value your given role, even if it feels incredibly small. Whether you're leading a giant study group or literally just organizing the shared kitchen, embrace it as a divine assignment.
When you actually run through that step-by-step process, you start transforming your community. You start noticing and appreciating those invisible contributions from your peers. You begin affirming their value, like actually telling that quiet friend how much their listening ear means to you. You commit to serving faithfully even when absolutely no one is watching, because you know God sees it and He honors it. Just remember, your specific role, no matter how hidden it feels, is actively sustaining the health of your entire community.
And finally, Section 5, Conclusion. Trust the design.
So let's finish with a clear conclusion of the research. If there is one core takeaway from all the text we've explored today, it's this: trust where God has placed you. The main argument of this entire passage is that the Father has placed you with absolute intentional purpose. True peace, especially during those crazy, chaotic, transitional years of college, well, it doesn't come from finally grabbing the spotlight. Actually, scratch that. It never comes from the spotlight. It comes from resting entirely in His sovereign, perfect design. You are exactly where He wants you to be. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative question to really chew on. In what ways have you struggled to accept where God has placed you? Take a minute later today to deeply consider your own heart regarding your specific placement. Are you constantly fighting against the role you've been given? Or are you ready to embrace the incredible value of being exactly the part of the body you were created to be? Keep questioning, keep learning, and above all, trust the design.